Welcome everybody to another episode of Wrong Side Simulations, bringing the best content from the wrong side of the airplane, the right seat. And as always, my name is Blake and I am a real world flight dispatcher aiming to bring you a little more context to your flight sim viewing experience. And today we've got a fun little different mission than normal, and that is we are going to return this A321 that was recently put out for sale, never got sold, and the decision has been made that we are going to bring this aircraft out of long-term storage slash sale and put it back into service. But the only caveat to that is there is an issue with the landing gear system that came out during some of the flight testing that has to be done when bringing an aircraft back out of long-term storage. Therefore, today is going to be a kind of maintenance reposition flight. We're going to bring the airplane out of Victorville over to Las Vegas with a geared down, unpressurized configuration, which means we're going to be flying low altitude Victor Airways on VATSIM, and going to be a bit more conventional Class 1 style of navigation. A little bit different than the typical, A to B, SID, stars kind of stint. So it's going to be different. Should be a lot of fun. We'll be cruising at 9,000 feet to make sure that we comply with all of the minimum en route altitudes that are along the airways that we're going to be flying. So that is the mission for today. And as always, huge shout out to all of our channel members. That's going to be Zippy Zapple, who just joined us yesterday. So huge shout out to him. Captain Johnny Bravo, D-Champ, Mickey Mike, Dustin, David, Isaac, Wes Burson, AJJ, Captain Nate, Kyle Lewis, Image Seeker, Marco, and Callie Simmer. Huge shout out to all those guys. Thank y'all so much for the continued support. Greatly appreciate it. Wanted to bring y'all another stream today since it's been the content's been pretty lacking over the past month. Some of that being I've been doing some world flight training, trying to get that wrapped up. I think I'm down to my mock check and then check ride. So once those are done, then finished with the training, and then ready for the event in November. Over to the chat, we got my man Captain Nate in the house. What's up, Nate? Great to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. I bet you know a thing or two about flying on some of these low altitude airways here in a mountainous terrain, complying with MEAs and MOCAs and off-route altitudes and all that kind of good stuff. My dear Callie Simmer's in the house. I'm actually drinking a whiskey drink, Buffalo Trace drink, thanks to you having some sent to my house last night. I figured that you might join in the chat, so I had to make sure I made one in your honor. And we also got Plain Nuts in the house. Hello, hello, great to see you, dude. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. So, a couple different little oddities that we got to do. They need this airplane out of the hangar so they can bring another one in. I think you can hear some high-power engine runs going on, so they need to bring another airplane into this hangar. So we're going to push out. We'll get out, kind of finish our inspection, close up everything, and make our way over to Las Vegas. Wes! Good afternoon, my friend. Great to see you. Alright, so let's get this thing powered up so we can get it pushed out. And for the most part, we're just going to be kind of getting the AP fired up so this thing can have some hydraulic pressure so we can use the brakes and brake ride if need be during the pushback. Being that it's coming out of maintenance, all of our displays are off, so we'll get what we need turned on just for this pushback. And then before we go flying, we'll kind of get everything fully configured. Wait for the screens to come on so we can do our AP fire test. Alice, what's up, man? Long time. How you doing? Great to see you, my friend. Lawn mode. You're streaming, doing pretty good. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's always great when you get the the yard mode finally. I mowed mine Wednesday and Thursday, got it looking beautiful. And now it's been a few days and I could already go back over it again. Hopefully we're not writing up another McDo. Alright. APU fire test. Cool. Now it's fired up. Oh yeah, struggling to meet MEAs in my 172 in the summer is something I'm very used to. I could imagine. Could imagine. And what's crazy is like, I've been working with the Chiefs on running a Las Vegas to Birmingham with altitude restriction of technically 10,000 feet because it's unpressurized, but because it's eastbound it would be 9,000 feet. So I've been trying to find routing that complies with that altitude based off the MEAs, but there isn't like complete routing, so we're going to have to get approval from ATC to fly eastbound at 9,000 feet. No, eastbound at 10,000 feet for the portions of the airways that are at 10,000, and we'll just kind of step climb. So where it's 9,000, we'll stay at 9,000. When we have to go up to 10, we'll go up to 10 with approval of ATC, and then when it's back down to 9 or lower, we'll step descend. So it's going to be a dynamic little flight we'll be flying. I think it's for maintenance for a tail strike aircraft. Been so dry here, haven't mowed in like 2 weeks. The only thing growing is the weeds. Yeah, that's never fun, especially when the grass is brown. Alright, so we'll run a timer for the bleed. We don't need the bleed for the pushback, just the hydraulic pressure. We'll pressurize the yellow system. While we're finishing that up, now these passengers are seeing are not really supposed to be the passengers, supposed to be the auxiliary crew members from our quality control mechanics. And I think they were still getting them on board, which is why the doors reopened. Alright, that one's still shut. Cool. I don't know why those are still showing open. I know the cargoes are open. Alright, that'll work. Skippy. And the refueling panel is open, so it says the airplane's refueling, even though it's not. We'll get the beacon light on, so people on the ground know that we're moving, we're about to be moving. I bet it's waiting. Yeah, I think it's waiting for those cargo bins to open up so they could put some baggage back here. Well, we don't want that. It's already loaded up. Ian, I am just a dispatcher. Grass is crunchy, yeah, I bet. Crunchy and brown. That's one thing that I'm very fortunate about, is I have a an irrigation system in this rental property. Keeps my grass looking nice. I've actually filed and flown at incorrect altitude for direction of flight before ATC approval. Usually they don't care if they see that you're trying to meet an MEA. Interesting. Okay. We'll still get approval because I'm sure they'll be wondering what's going on when they see one, an A321 flying at 9,000 feet, and then two, you know, obviously being down that low, flying at 250 knots, an airplane that big, and just the abnormality of the whole situation. I'm sure we'll have them raising questions and probably calling us. Oh, we need chase plane for 2024. So bad. Let's do a quick edit. Make sure it pushes back the way I want to. Ugh. No, that should work. What'd they do? Close that stuff up? Why? Ain't we pushing? There we go. My man Zach, what's up, dude? Good afternoon to you. How did you build up the flight plan via SimBrief? Yep, I did it via SimBrief. Now, I just planned, typically with these maintenance repos, they're typically filled up for us, pre-fueled up to about 25,000 pounds. So that's what I'm carrying today. I don't have a way of calculating any sort of gear down penalty, whether both for takeoff, climb, en route, approach, all that stuff. So 25,000 pounds should do it for a 40-minute flight with gear down, 250 knots. Fingers crossed. If I had my real-world software, I'd be able to account for that, but I don't. I did put remarks, plain nuts, on my ATC flight plan. Mentioned that it's a maintenance repo, gear down, and unpressurized. So that maybe they'll be able to understand. Alright, there we go. So we'll run outside and finish up our inspections, and then we'll get out of here. Make sure the door locks into place. Cool, everything looks good in the forward compartment. Looks good there. These will stay open for the flight. These are always a bitch to close. Oh man. I guess that handle's got to be raised. If we want it down though, what we can do is although in this particular MEL, it does state that the wheel doors or whale doors would need to be closed. I was gonna fly with them open just for more shits and gigs. So that what now? So we cannot fly with these down? Because it really wants this handle up, but it won't. It's like you won't bring the handle up unless the system is pressurized. This some boo honky shit. Alright, well, this ain't going to plan. So we'll bring those, we'll fly those wheel well doors up. Obviously, in real life, this should be done by a mechanic and not a pilot. Everything looking good to y'all? I'm sure a lot of this kind of seems dumb, that we're like inspecting the airplane. But just think about it. One, how detailed this airplane is. And then two, back in like the P3D days and X-Plane, we would wish that we could look at things like this. Be able to mess with panels, open and close stuff. Now we finally can. And I think it's dope. Looks like we're doing a mat. Yeah, pretty much pneumatic. Pretty much. So wondering if having the gear doors down creates a speed limitation. I think it does. I want to say it's like 235 knots or so. Something like that. Also be a much louder and less smooth ride. Quite obnoxious. There'd be non-RVSM, no icing conditions, all that kind of stuff. And we'll say we just gave the captain the thumbs up to retract the flaps. Actually, I guess that ain't gonna do it because we're in walk around mode. Alright, we're gonna start the engine like this. Well guys, if y'all are enjoying this slightly different content that is somewhat realistic, this is the other side of the airlines that the customer doesn't see. Flying maintenance repos, and sometimes they are management pilots only, sometimes it's you can have management pilot in the left seat and line FO in the right seat. Sometimes it can be line pilots in both seats. Depends on the issue. Get out of here. Thank you. Thank you. Armed and armed. This is also something that when pilots are flying the repos, there are no flight attendants. So they've got to do all the doors and the arming and all that stuff themselves. I do wish this was something that dispatchers at my company was trained on, how to operate the doors, because then we could have the flight attendant jump seat as another option when non-revving. Alright, let's catch up in the chat real quick, and then we'll get moving. Let's see. I would think it would be whatever the max gear door speed. I think it's a little bit less than the max gear down. Maybe though those doors are closed for normal operation. Yep. So I'm guessing there'd be another speed limitation associated with it. Yep. That is correct. Looks like an airplane to me. True, I guess what I was thinking was a hydraulic failure. The doors are out. Yeah, so in the ascents, you got to do a gravity gear extension. Those doors are extended. Damn Spirit selling the fleet already. Yeah, they've been selling some airplanes for a little while. I think 25 airplanes. All right, let's kind of go back to the top. So make sure we don't miss anything. So crew supply, ground control. Actually, ground control can stay off because we're just going to taxi out. Already on the captain, aiders 1, 2, and 3. Nav logo is already on. We'll go ahead and seatbelt sign on so we have our fuel. Arm the no smoking light and the emergency exit light. Turn off that yellow electric pump. Fuel pumps can also come on since we have our fuel. So we got flight directors, constraints, VORs are on. Get a little backlighting going. Same on the left side. Get our radios on. We'll retract the flaps at gear or at engine start. We'll get connected to flight is loaded. What? There we go. Okay. Coming back up, VHF1 to interphone and cabin. Get that up, on. Looks good. Now what the hell? Is that not running no more? This thing does something weird every time I start it. Alright, whatever. Just won't see the charts. I'm sure y'all probably don't get a whole lot out of seeing the charts, or the OFP anyway. But I would like to know why it's not. Let's try this. Alright, I think we're in business now. Alrighty. Alright, ATSU AOC menu, flight inits, initialize data request. I'm going to go to data, ATSU on the other side. I'm going to pull weather for Victorville. And then weather for Vegas. Alrighty, IRS monitor. We've got 2 more minutes until we're aligned. GPS. Let's cross-check our airport reference point. North 3435, west 11723. Just cross-checks in the box. AC status. Our nav database is current. Initialize flight. NKS 9100, cost index of 99, cruising altitude 9,000, and the temperature up there is 12 degrees. Ground temperature is 33 degrees, nice and warm. Triple pause is 52,200 feet. On the flight plan, Victorville, depart, plan for runway 17, no SID, insert that, Vegas, arrival, see, we are planning for ILS Zulu, 26 left, no star, approach via, no via. Gonna have some discons, which is fine. Insert that. Secondary flight plan. We're gonna copy active, secondary init. Victorville. So Victorville. Departing off 17. Secondary flight plan, secondary flight plan. If we came back, come back to runway 17 on the RNAV. No star. No via. Secondary performance. Next, 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 and next. Winds are variable, so it goes calm on the winds. 34 degrees. Even though the ECAM says 33. 2992. Minimums for this approach on the LNAV, VNAV is 3080. This aircraft is not equipped with WAS or SBAS, therefore we don't have FLS, which means we don't have LPV. Sabera's 3080. If we had to come back, RadNav, Victorville is auto-tuned, so we'll just leave that. Init, get our wind uplink. Clear that out, init, and then we should be boarded up already. got that. I have this here. Okay, so zero fuel weight is 110.7. With a CG of 24.1. So taxi fuel is 400. Route reserve 0. No alternate. Then reserve 45. Let's check our fuel planning now. Again, this is the box is assuming it does not know that we're going to be geared down the entire time, so these fuel figures are not going to be completely accurate, but it says we need 7.8. We got 25,000 roughly on board. I think it's like 24.9 at this point, so we'll block that out. We can go ahead and get our takeoff performance. (17) Drive, flat optimal force toga. Let's do no. Anti-ice off, packs on. Calculate that. Flaps 2 up 1.4, flex 50, engine out, acceleration is 4330, thrust reduction, acceleration climb 3830, and then 43, 49, and 49. We'll send that. And change these. Thrust reduction and engine out, acceleration climb. Cool. Now landing in Vegas. Go ahead and throw some figures in. Winds variable at 5, gusting 15. We'll call it 0 or calm. 34 on the temperature. 2984 on the altimeter. $22.69 on the mins. That's good. Prog page KVCV 17 in case we needed to come back. Cool. All that looks good. LA Center got offline, so that's fun. So we can do what we need to do. 9,000. It's going to be set. $1835 is CTAF. Alright, so here's the kicker on this flight. So no managed modes can be used since we're geared down. So everything has to be selected. So our V2 of 149 will be selected. I'm going to add 10 to that. We got heading. We'll leave that be. But basically the big thing is we cannot fly anything in any kind of managed mode. So reading the MEL, it's MEL 32-31-02. A few different other MELs to apply, like 349901, which is RVSM. We'll get to that in a sec. But limitations: consider a VMO or MMO of 235 knots. Landing gear down. Landing gear doors must be closed. Avoid icing conditions. Do not use managed speeds except during the approach. Do not use climb or descent autopilot modes. Disregard FMS fuel, altitude, speed, and time prediction. Time prediction is valid on waypoints and cruise only. Use TCAS and TA only. The altitude alert feature is not available, and do not perform ETOPS flight. Apply only toga thrust for go around. Soft go around function is not designed to be used with landing gear in extended position. The flight crew must select toga thrust for go around. Landing performance penalty, using FlySmart. Ensure landing gear position is extended, blah blah blah. My company iPad is dead because it's a piece of shit. I literally just charged it up 3 days ago for recurrent, and it's been off ever since, and it's dead. RBS sims not authorized. Flight not dispatched through known or forecast ice conditions. Takeoff performance penalty of landing gear position extended is selected. So there we go. So that's the MEL for landing gear retraction system. And then also we have to apply the RVSM MEL, which states RVSM is not authorized. Limit flight altitude flight level 280 or below. In the dispatch procedure, RVSM is not authorized. Must be planned flight level 280 or below. Remark OFP with non-RVSM ops. Modify ATC flight plan. That's something I didn't do. Delete the whiskey and add remark non-RVSM. But it doesn't really matter because we're going to be super low. So that's where we is at. Random question: are aircraft ever washed? Yes. That will be included in some of the routine maintenance work. I've seen the guys at UPS Worldport washing the 757. There you go. In fact, I watched United washing the 75 the other night. Brain Dead Logan. Are these the default Fenix textures? Yes. Yes, it is. Cool. Alright. We're caught up in the chat. Alright, so we should be ready to rock and roll. Let's just verify what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Get that closed up. Do the same on this side. Sure everything looks right. You never know what airplane's coming out of maintenance. Sweet. It says the exit doors aren't armed. That's correct. I guess it does it on its own. Alright. We'll see what happens when we start up. Alright, quick little departure brief and we'll get out of here. Alright, so it's going to be a right seat takeoff, aircraft type 321 for tail strike avoidance. We do have a couple MELs, landing gear retraction system, and non-RVSM, all of which have been briefed. No CDLs. Weather's not a factor. Terrain is a factor. Got a lengthy little taxi, so no compressed taxi. We're pretty much going to taxi straight out, and we have some taxiing across the ramp to do. I think we have to come straight ahead and do some little number like this, but there's a bunch of airplanes, so we'll just kind of, however we can get out of here, we'll figure it out. But eventually we'll join Charlie and then take Echo across runway 21 up, all the way up to Echo 1. I'll make it a 2-engine taxi. Center board procedures, below knots, my decision. Come to please stops, hit the parking brakes, call the flight center stations. Actually, no flight attendants. But yeah, we'll analyze the situation, call for any ECAM actions or emergency backwards checklists as required. We're in uncontrolled airspace. We'll be on the radios and advising the traffic of what we're at, where we're at, what we're doing. Get off the runway if we can. Above 80 knots, high speed regime. Abort for fire of any kind, engine fail of a wind shear, anything missing to the aircraft is unsafe for takeoff. At V1, if we pop an engine and go flying, we'll speed up, clean up, and come back to runway 17 right. We'll be under max landing weight. All goes as planned. We're going to radar vector ourselves over to our first fix. of Nullum, where we'll join Victor 12, going up to 9,000 feet. And I don't have any kind of squawk code, but I guess we can squawk VFR. So I'm gonna like try to stay VFR ish. Alright, cool. If you ain't got no questions, we'll get this thing started up. Alright, cockpit prep, maintenance hog tails, onboard check, gear pins, covers are moved, seatbelt signs are on, 8 ears are in nav, fuel, we're in 25,000, we got 24,960, so basically 25,000. Altimeters, 2992 set, and EFP is checked. Alright, before start checklist, windows, doors, and slides closed and armed. Beacon is on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brakes on. And transponder is in auto. Before start checklist is complete. Alright, I'm going to say we had 2 amber X's on each high pressure valve. Rolling numero uno. So if y'all weren't here last night, I asked everybody, it's like, do y'all know what time it is? Insinuating it was beer time. And Callie said Buffalo Trace time. And I said no. Unfortunately, I don't have any Buffalo Trace. And about an hour later, I had Buffalo Trace arriving at my door. So, huge shout out to Callie Simmer for her unbelievable kindness and friendship. So here's to her with some Buffalo Trace. Firing up number 2. So once we get to the end of the runway, we'll kind of go through the MEL again. It's just a quick checklist to make sure that everything is indeed set, because I can already tell that the speed dashed back out. These are all things that we'll want to make sure are set and ready to go. Yeah, when you said you didn't have any more, I was like, oh no, we can't let that be a situation. And that's why you are one of my best friends, because you just the sweetest. Alrighty, good start on number 2. App start flow, engine mode selected to normal. Oh, we're doing this shit again. And my scroll wheel's not working. swear. Let's check this one as well. I keep forgetting how to get into the axis settings. What is all this shit? Now it's fucking reversed. God almighty, man. This is what pisses me off with 2024. Every time you find a new livery, you gotta go set shit. Shadow, what's up, man? No meal, no studio. That's where the joke is. We actually do have MELs today. Alright guys, where the fuck do I go to change the curves? I'm either having a brain fart or something. Guys, where the fuck do you go? I can't remember. Like, I just need to go, like, sensitivity settings type thing. Belle's doing good. Surprisingly, she hasn't turned up in a while. Alright, fuck a duck, man. Piece of shit. Flaps 2. Let's see, we're going 1.4. Should be about there. And now as part of the MEL, we can be in TA only. Alright, after start checklist. Any ice is off, yellow pumps off, rotor trim 0, after start checklist is complete. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's not there no more. I think it usually would say sensitivity, right? And you'd click on it and take you to it. No, plain nuts. Bella is my lab that I've had for 12 years. She's got lung cancer. She's had lung cancer for about 3-4 months now. We thought she'd be gone by now, but so far she's hanging tough. Michelle, welcome. Great to see you. How you doing today? Zach said I'll be heading down to Daytona the 27th to 28th. How much BT do you need? Man, if anything, I'll buy you a drink. You ain't getting me none. You'd be the guest. Alright, let's hit a brake check real quick. Brake check, pressure 0. I think I'm working both of those days though. But I should be working the overnight shift, so maybe we can link up before I go into work, depending on what you got going on. See, Corn Addict. A subo, sort your control shit out. Yeah, I know. Ugh. It's always been my biggest gripe. It's gotten better with Sim Update 3 and everything being stored locally, but it's still like the interface sucks. Or having to apply something to all airplanes, like, I don't know, did it the same way as it was in 24. I didn't know her name. Yeah, no problem. I knew about the situation. Great. Yeah, man. Super excited. Now, to the point of a new puppy, though. October 3rd or October 4th, we'll be bringing home our new little baby girl. Don't know a name for certain yet, but we're thinking Rue, R-O-U-X, kind of like you would make a gumbo out of. She's a chocolate lab puppy. And once we get airborne, I'll show y'all some pictures of her. Super cute. She's gonna be spoil rotten. Alright. Let's hit a little mini brief. Alright, so we're departing Victorville, runway 17, radar vectors to Nolam, up to 9,000 feet, gross weight's 135.4, flaps 2, fuel 24.7, V1's 143, V2's 149. We're going to go selected. Why won't it let me select it? Well, that sucks. Anyways, V2's 149, we're going to take off, and we'll select 159. If y'all hearing a bunch of coughing and shit in the background, Crystal's sick, so apologies for that. I had the door shut yesterday in the stream for that reason, but it gets too damn hot in here. So if you hear somebody dying, it's just Crystal. I'm about to go shut the damn door though. I'll keep hearing. Alright, cool. So mini briefs complete. Flight controls check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Flight control checks complete. Yeah, I can't keep it out and manage. So have to intervene once we take off. I'll be there from the 28th to the 4th. Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely link up. In fact, we'll be out that way to pick up the dog anyways. One of those days, 3rd or 4th. Let's see. Cuteness. Oh yeah, and look, I'm already planning on holding her in my lap while we're streaming. It's gonna be a good time. Skystream, howdy howdy, welcome welcome. Oh, I like the name Ruse, very cool. Yeah, it should be. It's about the most creative thing we can think up for now. Kappa, welcome welcome. My Bella's going to be 10 next month, but starting. Oh no, cataracts suck. We had a chocolate lab that passed this past March, and she went completely blind because of them. Would have gotten a dog instead of a cat, but I don't know if I have the time to give it walks and exercise. Yeah, that's the tough thing with dogs. I am in Sim Update 3. How long is this taxi? Damn, all those poor planes just in the guard. Yeah, they'll be parted out for sure. They'll still live on through other airplanes. So based off of the chart, runway 17 starts here. It looks like based off the scenery, it continues down. We'll use full length since we're going to be gear down, and it gives me time to run some more checklists and brief the MELs real quick. So taxi checklist, gross weight comparisons complete. Pitch trim is 23.4% CG set. V1, VRV2 flex 43, 49, 49 flex 50. Flaps config 2, flight controls are checked. ECMMO takeoff all green. ECM status is checked. PWS is on auto. TCAS code set to TA. Cabin crew is advised. Mini brief is complete. Lineup checklist. Runway 17. Full length confirmed inside and outside. Fuel, we got a min fuel of 8.5. We got 24.6 on board. Engine mode selector is normal. Bleed packs are set. Alright, let's cover the let's brief the MEL one last time. Alright, brake set. Okay, so MEL 349901 RVSM operation. RVSM is not authorized, and we must remain under flight level 280 complied with. MEL 32-31-02 landing gear retraction system. We'll consider a VMO and MMO of 235 knots. Landing gear doors must be closed. They are. Avoid icing conditions. Will do. Do not use managed speeds except during the approach. And as y'all see, I wonder if I go flight directors off. We'll do that. 159. Runway heading is 166. So do not use managed speeds except during the approach. Do not use climb or descent autopilot mode, so no managed. So everything must be vertical speed. We can do open, we just can't do managed. Disregard FMS fuel, altitude, speed, time prediction. Use TA only. Altitude alert features not available. Do not perform ETOPS, and if we have to go around, we have to go full toga. Sweet. Everybody good with that? Alright guys, let's rock and roll. Victorville traffic. Spirit Wings 9100. We're departing off runway 17. We'll be exiting the airspace to the northeast. Victorville. Alright, brakes released. Let's get all the lights on. Clear on final. Clear down the runway. Here we go. Takeoff speed's not inserted. Whatever, window V2's 159. 8 knots, thrust set. 100. D1 and rotates. Positive rate, no gear up. Open climb heading. Direct nullum. Nav. Victorville traffic, Spirit Wings 9100, clear of runway 17, exiting airspace to the northeast. Victorville. Cabin pressure, load differential. Expect high cabin rate. Yeah. Let me know. Flaps 1, speed checks, flaps 1. And flap 0, speed checks, flap 0. Accelerated 250. 245. After takeoff checklist, landing gears up, not. Flaps retracted, APU is off. After takeoff completes. And we'll go autopilot 2. We'll need to be at, I think, 9,000 by Nolam. Never mind, the MEA on this airway is 7,900. So we're good there. Then 9,000 after HEC. Alright, switching over to Unicom. Ready to go traffic. Spirit Wings 9100, climbing 8,300 for 9,000. Just off to the northeast of Victorville. Victorville traffic. Alright, there's 9,000. Alt star. Check speed mode. No. Alright. Got some speed constraints put in there. It's just constant reminders. And welcome to the scenic way. Now let's see how long it takes for somebody to join the stream and be like, "Oh, you forgot to put your gear up." Even though the textures are blurry, I think it's more entertaining to look down. Got our landing lights out as well, which is also going to increase the fuel penalty a little bit. Oh my God. We'll shut my door. well, they can't read. And it's in the title, yeah, I know. Yep. I bet somebody still does it though. They won't read it, and they'll still have to say it. Interesting though. It's almost like Navigraph is not able to process my route. It's not showing it at all in the map, which I find interesting. So that's just kind of miserable to do in real life, because you're going to have a lot of terrain-induced turbulence to make the rides even worse, on top of having to gear down. So now imagine flying like this from Las Vegas to Birmingham, Alabama. That's what they're going to have to do with one of our airplanes. Definitely the scenic route. Maybe one day when if we have a shit ton of time, granted I've got other things I've got to do flight sim wise, that takes a lot of time, like my mock ride and check ride for roll flight, but one day maybe we can fly. Make sure I didn't exit. Thought I hit the autopilot button on my stick. But maybe one day we can actually fly this 9,000 feet from Vegas all the way down to Birmingham. Gear down. No, actually their gear's not going to be down. It's just unpressurized. So basically flying 250 knots the whole way. And as you can see, this route kind of picks apart through all the MOAs, trying to avoid all these red, purple areas, the squarey ones. The circular ones it's just controlled airspace. All the way to there. It would not be a lot of fun. Which center are you using for Las Vegas 2024? I'm just using Fly Tampa. I don't know if they even made one that's native or not. I just copied it over from 2020. If they did, then I'll definitely go install that. Let's see. Boom. I absolutely hate how they do none of these say 2024. Do they not have a single 2024 compatible airport? I don't think they do. Everything just says 2020. Destinations. And they don't split anything up. by sim. So yeah, I just copied it over. Think about those poor guys that had to fly the Global 380 gear down transatlantic. Whew. Yeah, but at least I got a much bigger airplane to walk around and crew quarters to lay down in and all that shit, but that'd be an interesting flight plan. Because they would have to go like way north Canada into like central Greenland, Iceland. They basically need to stay VHF, within VHF1 coverage, or VHF coverage, for the entirety of the flight. Yeah, native hasn't been done yet. I was just curious if 20 version. Yeah, it does. The only thing I've noticed that's really off is the sphere. The sphere is a little wonky, but other than that. Man, it's crazy like how much land is in the United States and like how much inhabited land out west there is. Like imagine if you were just, you know, crashed a small airplane out here, how desolate. I say that and there's should be a town coming up. Broadwell? I don't see a town if there is one. So, sucks that it's not figuring out. Let's see if we go. Yeah, it's getting hot in here already. HEC direct. To Boulder. Well, that's Shus. Direct Boulder, direct Kvcv-Klas /26 left. Done. This piece of shit, it's not drawing out the route. Oh well, we tried. Dude, it's fucking burning up in here already. I just closed the door. FO Pilot Dev, what's up, man? Who made this livery? I'm not sure. It's in the Fenix livery manager. I stumbled upon it. And FR24 says this bird is in Hanoi now. Yeah, so it's a Viet, what's it called? Viet Travel sale. So this airplane, I guess, was sold from Spirit to Viet Travel. If you go into the Fenix livery manager or whatever it's called, it's at the very bottom. You'll see it. But like, it still has the U.S. registration on it, so I figured we could role play it. We're bringing it back into service for Spirit. Fires, how's it going, man? Yeah, I'm very well aware it's still down. But welcome, welcome, my friend. What's that, choo-choo train? Where's that road? Oh, looks like a road. Where does that train go? Or road go, rather? Sandy Valley Ranch. Since there ain't much to see on here, tell it to follow. And then let's go back to low IFR. Fuck, it's getting hot. Or maybe it's just because I'm drinking bourbon, I don't know. I wouldn't mind flying this in real life. It'd be quite pretty. I was really hoping to do this with that sim on though. Just hit 500 subs last night during the stream. Also, do you think Spirit will come out of Chapter 11 again? First of all, congrats on 500. You're halfway to monetization. It took me like 2 years to get to 1,000. Yeah, I don't know, man. I get asked this every now and then. I'm sure we'll come out of Chapter 11, but how long will Spirit last after Chapter 11 remains to be seen. I don't even know why we went back into it so quick. Oh, hey, look, there's a train. Choo-choo. Big ass stutter. Every time I try to look towards the airplane, it. But I don't know why we went into it the second time so fast. Like, we'd only been out of Chapter 11 the first time for like 3 months or so. There's some chatter that like some leaseors are gonna repossess some airplanes and went into Chapter 11 to keep that from happening. I don't know. I don't know exactly why we did, but definitely interesting to say the least. Michael, good day to you as well, my friend. How you doing? I don't know how to reset. Let's see. V. I think I got rid of my reset button. Slow down. Drop the checklist. Man, I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Anytime I get to hang out with y'all and drink some bourbon and do some abnormal kind of flying is always a good day. Always a good day. Crystal's gonna be making some dinner here before too long. Probably need to go feed the dogs. 'Cause I know her ass ain't done it. Man, that thing's just bobbing, weaving around like crazy. So we're at 9,000 feet. I don't know why it's... I don't know. The Spirit Airlines really shutting down. Hard to get information. Not shutting down. It's shutting down is definitely a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility for anybody, right? But yeah, there's so much going on. It's hard to really even to say. The only consistent thing that I've seen over time is just it gets worse. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Hoping that there could be some sort of merger or something that would take place to save everybody's jobs, but as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's any other airlines that are even interested. Also had some beers? Hell yeah, man. Very nice. I'm sure Oktoberfest is around the corner. Gotta have some beers for that. Alright, guys, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna go feed my dogs real fast unless Crystal's done it, and I will be right back. Alright guys, sorry about that. We are back. I would be a poor man joining this kind of drinking community. I mean, the real Oktoberfest is in... Oh, okay. Yeah, I've actually never even been to Europe. Which you would think I would have. Being that I work in the airlines and can fly to Europe for extremely cheap. But yeah, I've never been. Alright, we're not too far from our top of descent. So let's run a little landing performance. So let's see, our current fuel is 19.1. The EFOB of 18.5. Call it 19. Alright, so 19,000 pounds of fuel, right? Subtract our EFOB, which is 18.5, will give us 500 pounds. So we'll subtract 500 from our gross weight, which is 129.8. It's going to leave us at 129.3 landing. So we'll type that in. Vegas 26 left, drive, meter 129.3. Low auto brake, max reverse thrust, manual landing. Flaps full, auto thrust on. This is 84.71 out of 10,525. AI system, bleed system, braking system, electrical. All that looks good. Cool. So we're gonna go auto brake low. It's an ILS. All our ILS push buttons, and then we'll get our environmentals thrown in. ATSU on the captain side, AOC menu, weather request, Kvcv-Klas. Shoot that off. Receive messages. We'll go to flight plan. Fix info, Kvcv-Klas 26 left. Radius 5 miles. We got Boulder and BR1. We'll do Vegas number 2. Prague page. Kvcv-Klas 26 left. Performance. Weather data. Winds are variable at 3 knots. We'll make it calm. Temperature is 35. Altimeter 2983. Alright, so that's good to go. Fuel prediction. Then with 15.2. Secondary, we'll delete that. Copy active. We'll just might throw in a arrival 1 left in case somebody comes on with VAT sim. Sweet. Cast ops, don't care about the delay. It's a repo flight. Alright, so looking at 11-2, ILS Zulu, runway 26 left, frequency is 111.5, with a final approach course of 259, glide slope of 3 degrees, all that cross checks. Intercept the glide slope at Raylan, 3,800 feet, decision altitude 2269. MSA 6,600 feet. Missed approach will climb to 3,200. Climbing right turn to 6,000 on the heading of 080. And inbound on the Boulder VOR, radio 287, Boulder VOR and hold. Continue climb into hold to 6,000. Transition levels 18,000. It's not applicable to us. Decision altitude is, or decision height, 200 feet off the ground, 3/4 mile. We got that on the weather. 26 left, got high intensity runway lights, center on lights, or high intensity runway lights, approach lights, they are LEDs. Runway's also grooved, PAPI on the left, 3-degree glide path, 900 or 9,401 feet. Runway from the glide slope is 150 feet wide. And then we're gonna park in this. We'll park on the south holding pad. Have to get a ride from maintenance. Takes us to the terminal. Zippy, what it do, man? Welcome, welcome. Does the Wind Wing and McDo work with X-Plane 11, and is it worth it? I don't know if it works with X-Plane 11. I wouldn't imagine. I would think it would more than likely work with X-Plane 12 more than 11. Heading, sweet. But is it worth it? Yes, 110%. Alright, what's up with the data, dude? I've been noticing this a lot, actually. Let's see. I don't want to do that, because then that's going to jack up the stream. Las Vegas traffic, Spirit Wings 9100. We're turning final, 15-mile final for ILS 26 left. Las Vegas. Approach. Let's go flaps 1, speed checks flaps 1. That's up star, look star. Now we can use managed speed for the approach, but we cannot for any other phase of flight. So we're good to go managed. Can also arm both autopilot channels. So speed, glass up star, look star, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. I can't reach my checklist. I'll use an old one. Alright, approach, briefs complete. Pushed up by 1,000 feet. Income status check. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums 2269 set. Any ice 22 is off. Altimeters 2983 is set. Let's go flaps 2. So we are geared down already. Arm spoilers. Runway and taxi lights are on. Missed approach. 6,000 set.
2,500.
Manage speed. Vegas traffic Spirit Wings 9100 is 7.5 mile final for runway 26 left. Vegas. Flaps 3. Speed checks. Flaps 3. And flaps full. Speed checks. Flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin crews advised. Auto thrust. Speed.
2,000.
Auto brakes low. ECMO landing already. Landing checklist complete. Alright, got the runway in sight. My airplane. We all know this glide slope's a little wonky in this scenery. I wonder if that's a Fly Tampa thing or a sim thing. Alright, 2 red, 2 white. About a half caret down, or 1 caret down. A little to the right, we're correcting left. Kind of a quartering tailwind. Staying within limits as of right now. Now it's a left crosswind. Now it's a tailwind.
4.
It's definitely variable. 8 knots.
300. 200. 100 above.
Manual thrust.
Minimum 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard.
Dude, why is it doing that? It did that yesterday. The nose gear, like the plane tries to pitch back up. 80 knots. Vegas traffic Spirit Wings 9100 clear of 26 left. We cross in 26 right at Alpha 7. Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Las Vegas. Yeah, those were some swirly winds. Vegas traffic. Spirit Wings 9100 clear of runway 26 right. We'll be taxiing to the A gates via Zulu. Vegas. I see a Southwest guy up ahead. Alright, let's clean it up.
Vegas traffic, Metro 38 and 0 final runway. Correction, 9 mile final runway.
Jan terminal, air cargo. And nothing over there. Let's see what this fellow's doing. If y'all hear a bunch of bird sounds, that's stupid soundscapes. I've never been super happy with their sounds. Weird, everything just went silent. And Southwest over there parking at Spirit Gates. Alright, clear on the right, clear on the left. Sure.
30 somebody. Metro 63.
All right.
Runway
Brake set.
right at altitude.
Shut it down. Alright guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Very happy to have y'all on board this little maintenance repo flight. Alright, let's see. I don't know if there's... Oh yeah, GSX is reading it, cool. Alright, parking checklist slides are disarmed, engines off, seatbelts off, exterior lights are set. Ice protection's off. Get some. Ice protection's off. Fuel pumps off. Yellow electric pumps off. Chalk signal received. Park and brake is now off since we are chalked. Now we'll secure the airplane. Like my frame rates are like biting the dust. Just gonna wait on the APU to spool down. And we'll shut it all up. Whoa, fell through. Do a quick little walk around. I think they're offloading the mechanics tools. Excuse me, sir. There's the APU spool down. Cool. Airplane looks good to me. Let's pack it up and go to the hotel. I appreciate it, Hatchet. Nice done, Cap. FO, I mean. Alright, everything else I believe is good. Alright, screen checklist. Aiders are off, oxygen's off, APU bleed is off, and integral lights are not off. I don't know, that's part of it. It might be old. After last passengers to plane, emergency exit lights off, signs off, external power. Says if available is on. I'm gonna leave it off. APU master is off, maintenance bus. If external power is on, we'll turn that on. Note, switch behind overhead, plexiglass panel and forward galley, yep. External power is off. 2 minutes after APU available, lights out, batteries 1 and 2 off. Dang, you gotta wait 2 minutes for that. Interesting. Birds in the flight deck, I wonder if that's ever been called an ATC. I bet you it has. I almost bet you that it has. Cool. Alright, let's get down to the bus or the van. Come on, Captain Douchebag. Fly too slow. Or walk too slow. You're trying to leave me. Ran my ass over. But alright guys, well, greatly appreciate y'all coming to hang out this evening. Hope y'all enjoyed this very different stream, but I hope it kind of gives you some insight as to some of the other types of operations that are running at airlines behind the scenes that the paying passenger does not get to see. Little maintenance repositions, test flights, all those kind of things. They are going on. Probably won't ever see it. You know, side note real quick, little idea I had. When is Fenix ever going to give us like an actual preconditioned air cart with the hose running? That would be useful. We can connect it, disconnect it like we can a GPU. That'd be pretty dope. But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed it. I very much did. I'll have to do something like this again. So I kind of like this abnormal stuff. But again, Callie, thank you so much for the Buffalo Trace It's just about gone. But as always, guys, be good at it. Keep it on the wrong side. My name is Blake. I go back to work tomorrow. I work for 4, and then off on the weekend. So hopefully we'll get some streams in next weekend. But I've got some other World Flight stuff to get scheduled and take care of. That's going to take a little bit of more of the priority. But anyways, hope you have a great rest of your weekend, great rest of your night, and have a great work week for those of y'all who work normal weekdays. And until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later.